Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and it's time to kit up White Christmas. I've been eager to do this since it was unboxed. So I do have the canvas out. I have the sticker sheet. So I actually wanted to kit this up in the case I've just de-kitted my other Dreamer designs from, but it has 73 different colours. Sort of not going to work. I have a case that has 70 bottles in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ABs in this case thing I have from Star Raw, because I can take some of them off. So I'm going to have my ABs and my case for this painting is the plan. I'm going to keep them together. Just if there is a lot of ABs, I may as well just fill it up, because why not? I've got my canvas. I've also got some of our new cover paper. I want to use it for the canvas itself. So because I've got the canvas out already, I am going to prep the canvas first. So one thing I do want to do, and I'm trying to think which end, do it on this end. I want a piece of pipe lining. Now I don't have the full size, but I do have two smaller pieces if this one doesn't look big enough. Yeah. I prefer, if possible, to have it sort of the length of the actual painting. So stopping there and then stopping at the bottom. But I don't have any full lengths. I just have some that I've cut off from others. And this one actually, if I keep them both together, it actually works out at a bit more than. So I'm going to use that to roll the canvas up. Once I've done some of this, so once I've completed some of this, I will take them off there and put them on here and roll it outwards. So it'll take me a bit before I get up to probably about here before I'll need to do that. And what it does is that this pipe lagging stops the canvas folding in on itself and folding a little bit more. Sorry, I've got something stuck on the back of that. It stops it folding in on itself with the weight of the diamonds. Helps it to keep a nice round shape. So I'm going to peel back the top cover of this, and I'm going to grab my cover paper. So this is our new printed design cover paper, and it does actually sort of match up if you want to do it that way, but I like to do my lengths this way. So I think I'm going to do a row of each. I don't want to pull out loads of stock when we've not yet launched it, so I'm going to do a row of each colour. But what I want to do first is I like to take more care lining up my second row, because it will become my line for my diamonds. So I'm going to use a sheet so I know roughly where to go. I'm going to let it overlap a little bit. So it does overlap by a row or two of diamonds. And then I'm actually colour coordinating this. So I'm going to do a row all the way across. I'm overlapping a little bit as I go, just to make sure that I've got that flexibility then. It makes sure that my whole painting is covered, but it gives me the flexibility if I want to open up a bigger or a smaller section. I only actually need 7 across, so I only need 14 of each. So that's my first row across, and then for my second row I'm not too precious about where that goes. So I want this straight line, because as I'm taking this row off, that's where I'll stop doing my diamonds. Once I've completed this row and have all of these sat in my case, I will basically move this row up a little bit, again giving myself a nice neat line, and then I will pop these down on the top to cover where it is that I'm working. So I'm going to bob these on. Again, I'm overlapping just a bit. Now you can be as neat as you want to be. And I try to get them, you know, pretty looking straight, but I'm not too worried about, so for example, when I take this one up, I'm not too worried whether this one is exactly on the line or not, because what I'll do is I'll take off one or two and I might go, okay, I'm actually just going to do that section tonight, cover up all the zeros. I'm just going to do those colours. That's all I've got the time for. Or I might decide that actually I have the time for 2 or 3 and a bit. So I'll go, okay, I'm actually going to go up to that shelf. Or it may be that I say, oh, I'm going to go to that shelf. And that's why I don't mind them overlapping, because I tend to move them about depending on how much time I have. And sometimes I will pull a few off, pull more than I can, and I will sort of work down in colours and then just recover it back up when I'm done. So for example, if I decided to pull off that section but only actually got a few colours done, but then maybe some of those colours were over here, what I then do is I'll lift up this and just use the glue that's above to help cover up those bits underneath, and that will all have diamonds on, for example. So it's quite flexible. The only thing with the printed cover paper to bear in mind is this side has your silicone coating that can go on and off the glue, be reused. This side is not. Do not put this side down, it's paper. It's the only way we can print on it, so do not put it face down. It's single-sided. Our plain one is double-sided. Oh look, that one's gone out of sync when I've lifted it up and put it back down. Let me just neaten that bad boy up. Hang on, I'm getting myself in a kerfuddle. Let me get a piece of it that's not stuck to glue. There we go. Okay, let's put these back on. I like them to overlap this way. And I say, it looks pretty. So I've got my pretty cover paper on. Once I've got that on, I'll pull my clear cover back over. Now some people do like to keep their clear cover as a full and it will cover the diamonds when they're done. I'm not too precious about that. I don't have a dog that molts, so I'm not going to get pet fur on things. Plus this one is a square diamond, so it is going to cover it all. So what I like to do is leave a little bit of an overhang, and I'll cut all the way down so that I don't have any of that clear cover on this first strip. Once I've done this first strip and I move my cover paper up, I will then cut another strip of the clear off. It means I can roll it, because I could cover the whole thing in cover paper, and while you can roll it up, sometimes it can cause them to lift up, whereas the clear cover, it just gives me the flexibility of rolling it about and things like that. And 2 rolls of cover paper roll up perfectly fine and don't, as I say, they don't always like ping off, but they can pop a little bit if you've got a full lot of it and you're trying to roll the paper. Sometimes it doesn't agree with that as much. So a couple of sheets left for a future project. I will need those scissors, so I'll keep those about. So this is my main case that I'm going to use. I got this one off Amazon, I think. I wanted something that would hold 70 different colours. Now let me see, will this... Ooh. Okay, so these stickers will still go on with the number 1, 2. Quite often I cut those off, but I don't think I can be bothered today. I just want to get these diamonds in here so I can do a section. So I'm going to pop these stickers on. These stickers are a different design to the previous kit. So this is one of the new design kits where the symbols are a lot clearer. I'm not sure if the stickers go with the new design all in one. All I know is I de-kitted my older canvas style Dreamer designs, and they're different stickers. They're actually stickers that are a pain to get off, so I'm hoping these are nice to get off when the time comes. But I guess we'll find that out when I've finished this kit. So I'm going for 1 bottle per colour if I have any extra, which I may well do because White Christmas is a big picture. Then I will sort out those as we go along. I tend to put them in our bag and book rings. So we do a bag and book rings set. I tend to put them in those on a book ring and hang them. I have one of the smaller IKEA carts. It's not the Raskog, it's the size down. I have one of those with one of the little wooden tops, and if you get the little hooks from the kitchen area, they're only about £1, if that, for like 5 hooks. They're not a lot. £1.50, might even be 50p. They actually can hang off the side of the cart, and then I hang my book ring with extra diamonds off the end of the cart. And then whenever a colour ends up running out, I tend to just fill them all up at the same time, and then carry on painting. There is quite a lot of different colours in this one, considering it is sort of a white and neutrals. If I remember rightly, there was a lot of AB white from what I remember. But for the pots, we're going to end up using 69 of them. So I'm thinking there might be quite a few colours that are quite low in the amount that's used, which means I won't have loads of extras, but I do imagine there's some colours that I'm going to have quite a bit left over. But we're up to 50. 50 is done. We're going to be cutting bags open for what's going to feel like an eternity. But I am so excited to do this one. I've been itching to do this one since I got it. I've had the Dreamer designs, the last one that I did, which is absolutely gorgeous. But I actually finished that one a couple of weeks ago. And I told myself I wasn't kitting up White Christmas until I de-kitted that one. Partly because I wanted to use the same case, but also I like to de-kit before I kit up the next one, wherever possible. There is the odd exception, but wherever possible, I like to de-kit first. And even though I couldn't use the same case, it's taken me that long to actually get to de-kit the other one. Okay, so 69 different colours are going in here. There's no point in me putting one AB in here and the rest in here. I'm going to put them all in here. I am going to hang off on doing the ABs though, just until I look at how many bags for those stickers. But here's my diamonds. As you can see, there are a few colours, like the whites, that are pretty chunky, and there's probably quite a few. That one says it's bag 2 of 2, so, and this one says 2-1. So let's go for the one with the number 1 on it first. Get down my bin. This is a tissue holder. Very fun putting the diamonds on that one. I'll get rid of my big rubbish in my big bin, but I'm going to use this for the rest. So let's find an end. Okay, let's go with this one first. So this actually has all my ABs in it. So let's work on the ABs first then. So obviously 3 of the ABs I have hardly anything, and then the white I have quite a lot. So let's move that out of the way. We're now doing the ABs first. So I'm going to pop the first sticker on. I am actually going to keep them, yeah, I'm going to keep them in order. So AB08, I'm going to open 3. I don't know how many I'm going to need, but it's always easier to open more. These actually hold quite a lot. So it may be, yeah, I'm going to use 1. I wasn't sure if it would need it at all, but I could possibly have squoezed them all into 1. But what's the point when I have more? Okay, so now I know with the others, I can just stick the stickers on because I'm not going to have any extras. So we'll pop those there. And we have number 71, my blue. Just little touches after the white. I am so excited to see how this is going to turn out though. This is why I've been itching to do it. Then again, I've got quite a few that I'm actually rather excited to be doing at the moment. I've got quite a few large paintings kitted up. And also my small paint gems. And I am going to be kitting up some others. And it is really nice to sort of spin the wheel to decide. I'm not going to spin the wheel for the first time working on this. That's for sure. Because it's new painting excitement. I'm going to embrace it. But I will be spinning the wheel for future ones. Okay, let's see how many I get. This is like one of the biggest colours, and it's not all going to fit in one pot. Now, for the white, or for the purposes of the white, I am going to use this second pot. The reason being is that it is right next to the first one. I may top it up a bit more in a bit. I've not yet decided. Yeah, so it means I can use the 2 before I have to refill. I am going to hold off on those. I'm probably going to put them in my bag and book rings, and I'll top that pot up at the same time. But I want to see how many I end up with extra before I do that. Because if all I'm ending up with is these, then I may as well just throw these in the case and then top up both pots with 1 bag each time. But I think I'm going to end up with more. Though, having said that, they're all 5,200 as well. So, yeah, if that's the only colour I'm going to have, I'll leave them in their bags. If I end up with more, then I'll probably move them onto bags and book rings. But I do want to see how it goes first. So we do actually seem to be in number order, which is kind of nice. I'm going to do it upside down because then I can cut off the corner and leave the corner attached. So let's see how these fit in. I need to get a big tray to go under this. And of course I forgot to grab one, so I'll grab one when I've done this bag. If these diamonds will come out. Just a couple to stick into the packaging. Oh, and now we've got one that doesn't want to come out. Go on, join your friends. Get out. So yeah, there's a little bit of static from the bag, but not enough for me to go panic and go find my dryer sheets. I will grab one of our no lines Add More Zest trays though. And then again, I'm cutting the corner off. All in one, so that I can just tip them straight. Are you going to fit? That was close. That was close. But we fit just. I'd prefer them all to fit. But as I say, I don't know if I've got another colour that there's a lot of. There is another cream, I think, that there's a lot of. It depends. If I've got lots of colours with extras, then the bag and book rings are great. If I've only got one or two, then to be honest, leaving them in that isn't so bad. No, I want to cut the corner off. This one seems fuller. If I'm going to end up with half a bag, then I'm definitely going to pull out bag and book rings. Yeah, I'm ending up with half a bag. That is not going to fit in the pot. I don't have any extra pots. So I definitely need some form of bags to put them in. So if I'm putting some in bag and book rings, I may as well put them all in. And these are reusable. I've used this one before. I can tell by looking at it. So I'm going to throw them in there. And of course, I didn't grab any stickers. So let me grab some stickers. You just pulling down my file off the shelf. I've got some strips here of stickers, and this one is 38861. I always just use the DMC for the bag and book rings. A couple of different reasons. The main reason is that if for any reason I found some of these floating about at a later date, maybe they were still hung on my cart, maybe they got knocked off and I didn't actually need them, I'd know where to put them away in my spares. Is the main reason. But also I don't want to be drawing fancy symbols on here and then trying to match, is it definitely that symbol, is it definitely, you know, just what's the point in adding more than you need? So I stick with the DMC number. It's the safest option. And if they ever fell off and got stuck somewhere, or I just forgot that I still had some left in the bag and had de-kitted the kit, if I'd only put the symbol on there, then I'd have to go through my videos to find out what symbol it possibly was, if I've caught it on shot, or contact the company to find out what symbol matched up, and if they've changed the chart in any way. You know, like when they switch suppliers, sometimes they have to be recharted according to the new supplier. And if that sort of stuff happens, then they can actually change. I remember the first type of canvas I ever had off Dreamer Designs. I really struggled. I've got static on these, so this is going to be fun. I really struggled with the canvas and seeing them. So they sent me the chart on email. Okay, that's not working because of static. They sent me the chart on email, and actually the symbols were different. Only a couple, but it was enough to, of course, cause confusion. So if I just put the DMC number, I don't have to deal with any of that. Right, 63. I am going to keep this because not all of them have static. There's only a few that have static. So I'll keep hold of the tray because the likes of this one that doesn't have static will catch any of my strays, or most of them. If I've only got one, I can actually use the corner of my tray to tip it in. If you've got more, it's easier to use the spout. Okay, that strip's done. What are we on now? Okay, so we are on, oh no, we're on 53. Oh, that's why, it's because I was doing it upside down, wasn't I? 62? Where's 63? Where is 63? 62. Have I done? I've done 63. It just wasn't a full pot, so it's confused me. Okay, let's So let's try and get this right, eh? Let's try and actually be able to kit this up without any huge errors. Doesn't help when I didn't cut the hole very big. Try and cut myself a bigger corner off. So that's 62, 61. Try and cut a corner off that I can actually get diamonds through. That's a gorgeous mustard colour. As far as mustard colours go, that is, but it's a nice mustard colour. I suppose I am in love with the painting, so maybe all the colours are going to look more adorable than they may do with a different colour. Who knows? Even this dark grey looks exciting, even though it is just a dark grey. And again, there's only one diamond fell out, so I'm just going to use the corner of my tray because it's easier. Then taking the stopper out and popping it back in. Then 59, a gorgeous green. All the colours are gorgeous. But no, to be fair, that mustard colour did look really nice. But again, it's because I'm surrounded by the other colours that are in the painting, which always helps. I am going to have a revamp of these symbols when I am done. So I've put the symbols all on in order. And this is another reason I often take the numbers off. But having the numbers on might actually help me with dekitting. That's an idea. So yeah, quite often I'll cut the 1 to, well, in this case 73 numbers off because I don't have a use for them. I don't use the key on the actual canvas when I'm working on the painting. I use the symbols that are on the stickers, and then I use the DMC numbers when I am dekitting and putting all the spares away in my spares box. But I do like to rearrange so that letters and numbers and things are all together. But actually having these numbers on the front will be helpful when I'm dekitting because they're in DMC order. So I can pull out number 1 and put number 1 away first. Which I didn't think of last time. The last one I dekitted, I had cut those numbers off, I think I had. I'd have to look back on the video. So I ended up sorting them into DMC order before dekitting them and putting them away. Who knows if I will remember when I dekit this that I've got the numbers on and that I can use them in that way. Depends how long it takes me to do it and how many sleepless nights I've had in between, probably. Depends if it gets done this side of Christmas, which who knows. No, I am hoping to get this one done for Christmas, which is another reason I've sort of snuck it into being kitted up straight away. Partly the excitement and partly I would like it up for Christmas. I have a couple of different Christmas images. I have my cross stitch that goes up at Christmas. I actually have another diamond painting image that used to go up every year in my front room. But when we moved to have the front room in the conservatory, 50 by 50, it's not quite got the same space that it can go up straight away. I don't know where this one's going to go yet either. But I'll find a home and see if it can then stay there. Okay, 53. See, quite a lot of these are fitting in one pot, which is kind of nice. I'd actually prefer to have, I mean, I know it, you know, it changes according to from painting to painting, you know, and I wouldn't want to compromise the image for how the diamonds go in my pots. But I do much prefer to have a few colours that really go over what will fit in the pot than have lots of them that are just a little bit more than the pot. I find it easier to keep track. I will sort out my 5200s in a bit as well and get those into bags, because if I'm having to bag others up anyway, I may as well bag those up, and then I can put them all on the same book ring and they can all be in one place. Because I also have quite a few large paintings kitted up, I might on one of the bags put which painting this is, just in case I get any muddled up. I'm thinking, have I got any on book rings at the moment? I don't think I put my Diamond Art Club Mystery on book rings. I think I kept them in their bags. I've got a feeling I kept them in their bags. Yeah, I'm not actually sure. And actually keeping the numbers on these pots, the number on the bags is bigger for the canvas number, so 49 rather than the DMC number. It's actually a little bit easier to just, you know, double check I've got the right diamonds before I tip, as I'm tipping it in, or before I tip it in. That extra little double check I do on occasion. Every few bags I do just check I am up to the right amount, especially because I'm chatting while doing it. I prefer to, you know, double check my work, triple check my work, than make a boo-boo that makes the picture look horrid. Okay, are you all going to fit or not? No. I got to a point then I'm like, that's not going to fit. So another bag. This one is 3033. So again, bottom left hand corner, it's easier to see when they're all tied on a book ring. And throw the rest of them in there. See, this is what I don't want loads of. Loads of bags with just a little bit in. I much prefer to squeeze them in the pot than have loads of bags. So what I tend to do then is I tend to find that the likes of the 5200 I'll fill up quite a few times, quite often, and then I'll get halfway through the painting or a bit further past halfway, and then I'll just pull all the bags and this tub before I start diamond painting. I'll just go through and fill them all up and get rid of a load of bags all at once. But we're going to have a lot of white on this painting. Maybe I can test my multi-placing skills, see if they've got any better. We'll see. I don't like to start off multi-placing, especially on a new painting. I don't know what it is. New painting, I like to single place. And it's only once I've sort of got past the first row that I often think, oh, maybe I'll give multi-placing a little go. I did that with the Auraloa painting. I waited until, it might have even been the 4th or 5th row, until I was like, oh, I'll give multi-placing a go. Oh, they multi-placed so nice. It was like, I could have done this ages ago. They just were a set of diamonds that just multi-placed like an absolute dream. And yeah, the diamond painting just looked so nice, even though I'd multi-placed. But yeah, I could have multi-placed from the beginning, and I reckon it still would have looked good. You sort of need to get a feel for the diamonds first, though, I think, or at least I do. I feel like I need to do a row just to get a feel for how the diamonds are going to sit whether they're going to sit snug, whether they need that little bit of breathing room. And even the diamond paintings where they need a little bit of breathing room, like a slight bit between them, as long as the drills themselves are uniform, I often find it's still a really enjoyable painting to work on. You might find that multi-placing makes it look a little bit different, and single placing actually makes it look better. So yeah, I like to get a feel for my diamonds, a feel for how my diamonds are going to behave. Is anybody else the same, or do you just go straight into multi-placing? Do let me know. You seasoned multi-placers who are more seasoned than me, do you just go straight in multi-placing when you've got a new painting, or do you like to get a feel for your painting first? Let me know. It could just be a weird trait of mine to get a feel for it, because I've not been multi-placing for that long. We don't have many of this one. Just a little pop of a red. It's a little sprinkle. What I also like this bin for, which is to say you can get some on AliExpress. You just need to search for like tissue bin. They're actually for putting tissues in. Is that you can sort of squash everything down in it, and because it's only got that little opening, it takes a while for it to start popping up. Whereas if I'd left the lid off, they probably would have started popping up, and I would have felt like I needed to empty the bin to be able to carry on. Whereas I can cram more in there and then just go and empty it afterwards. But I can get all my diamonds in. I still keep cutting myself small corners and then making a mess. But we're nearly there. I say we're nearly there. We're nearly halfway. We're probably a bit over halfway actually, because we have done the ABs. So some of these diamonds are just going in like an absolute dream. There's only been a couple of bags that have had a little bit of static. And again, not a huge amount, not an annoying amount, not flying about everywhere. They just obviously have had a little bit of a temper before they've even gone into the bag. And they haven't cooled down enough. Right, are you going to fit? You're not, are you? Oh, that one is so much closer, but it's not going to fully fit. So this is 819. Bob that on the bottom. I have got used to being able to tell which way round the bag is, just with working with them for so long, because it's got a clear front. But if you're unsure, put your diamonds in before you put your sticker on, or at least open the bag before you put your sticker on, because back in the early days I have been known to put the sticker on the wrong side of the bag, and then I have to take it off. Oh, we've got another pretty mustard colour. Maybe that'll go with the other one. Maybe we've got something mustard on the picture. It feels like it's even though it's a white Christmas and it's a white living room, it feels a bit like a cosy living room. There's enough neutrals in there. Maybe we've got something warm and mustardy in there too. For that one, I did the opening too big. Okay, first pack of diamonds is done. I do have the feeling that has quite a few of the smaller packs, because we're more than halfway on the numbers. And I do think we've got at least one colour in here that we've got two of. So I'm going backwards at the minute. So I need number 32 ideally. I'm enjoying this going backwards pattern. So that's, oh, that has got 32 on it. So let's, yeah, this one I have 2 bags of. 762. It's actually one of the very prominent colours in my last Dreamers designs, though that had a lot more colour on top, and of course it was round. I laid out my, after of course seeing it on camera when I de-kitted my other Dreamers designs, I hadn't unrolled it since finishing it. I saved it for the video, and seeing it through the camera just showed me how gorgeous the image was. And then I did lay it out to get a picture of it for my logbook, because even though I filled it in on my logbook last time, I haven't actually put a picture in yet. And oh, it just looks stunning, absolutely stunning. Right, I'm going to need another bag for these, and these bags will take, of course, more than the pots. So while I might need more than one for the 5200, I can actually fit all of my extra 762 all in one bag. She says she's not put it in yet, but yeah, I should be able to. And I could have got away with cutting the opening a lot more and didn't. So of course I've just dropped a load. Everybody's probably going, you should just pull it out and cut the top off and it'd be quicker. Yep. But you know when you think, oh, it's not moving too slow, it'll be alright, and then as time ticks by you think, ah, maybe it is. So yeah, you can actually get quite a bit more in there than that, but I do like to flatten them a little bit before sealing it down, because they then just take up less space. So 762, not that it really matters when they're hanging off my cart, but makes me feel better. So 762, 739, Peachy Peach. I nearly cut a tiny corner then because I was trying to avoid the diamond that was stuck in the corner, and that would not have helped me. Wasn't a big enough cut for a diamond to come out of. Come on, you stuck in the corner. Then we've got 738. Move the diamonds out the way. Try and... Oh, so excited to do this one. I'm itching to kit it up. It's really warm today as I'm doing this, and I think I've said on my earlier videos that I filmed today, because I filmed 2 videos today. This is my 3rd, and I said on them I'll get this kitted up and then I will do my whip and waffle as the first one, first section of this painting. However, it is that warm today, I am absolutely cooking in here. So once I finish kitting this up, I'm going to go and sit by the aircon, and then maybe I will do Sunday's whip and chat with this painting and do the first section, or the first having a go. But if once I've sat down for a little bit it is too stuffy, then I might have ended up telling the porky, because I am diamond painting on this painting tonight. I'm determined. It's kitted up now. I am diamond painting. The question is whether I do it on film or not. I've done it again. How many times? It's because I'm cutting it as part of the bag and not cutting it separate, but it is definitely better than having all the bits floating about. Okay, so I need another bag for this one, and this is 7, 1, 2. And I also want to check if I do have any more of this on, because this is the end of the row. Putting these in and they're coming out the hole in the top. They're flying out the hole where the book ring can go. My aim was off. Okay, let me put the sticker on so I know what number it is. Let's put that away and then let's have a look. Where's my next strip? So yeah, I actually have 2 more bags of 712, which is number 24. I thought it was very similar to the colour I had a lot of. Let's see if I can actually fit 2 more bags in here. It'd be nice if I could, but I might be pushing it. It's going to be fun if they don't fit. So you can get quite a lot in these. Depends how bulky you want it to be. I don't particularly like them bulky, but I do prefer them all together. The question is, can I get, you should see how close this is to getting them in, but then getting it to seal. It is so close. They definitely fit in, but of course I then need to be able to seal it across the top. And I can do it. It's just sometimes I have to sort of squeeze the side of the bag a bit, you know, make sure it's getting into all those little nooks and crannies. But I've done it. I've got 2 and a bit bags in there ready for refilling. Okay, what was next? 23. These should all fit in. These are all small bags. There is another colour though that looks like there's a lot of. I'm trying to look at my numbers on here. I think it might be 452 or 451. Looks like I have a lot of. We shall see. It's definitely mainly the lighter colours that we have a lot of. Oh, we've got some nice pale green. Reckon we've got some of that in the tree. Are you all going to fit in? Oh, you should. And it's always the bags, always the diamonds that just fill my pot that give me static problems. So what I've just decided to do is just let them all fall out on the desk, wet my finger, and then pick them up with my wet finger. Because what that does is dulls down the static, which means they don't then jump out of the pot again. There's no point in trying to tip them from plastic to plastic to plastic when they're doing that little bit of jumping. You don't go in the pot, you better just wetting your finger and putting them in that way, and it will calm them down. And I also do it when I just get a random one on my desk that needs tidying up. Okay, we are on number 20. Countdown from 20 to get these in. And then I get to sort out my diamonds into an order that I can work from. Keep trying to pick up the rubbish as I go along, otherwise it would just end up being all over my desk, and that is not something that works for me. I know it works for some people, just throw the rubbish on the desk and deal with it all when you're done. But I much prefer the process if I'm straightening up as I go along. And being able to put stuff away as I go along. I know I'm still going to need my bags. I know I'm still going to need my stickers. So there's no point in trying to tidy those up. But I do try and tidy up the mess as I go along. Say it's like a little mini part of the job is done if I do that. It's like when I know I'm done with the stickers and things, putting them away. It's like, oh, that section of the job's done. And then I finish putting diamond in a pot and I go, oh, that section of the job's done. Little progress steps. Little progress steps as you go along. That's why when I dekit, I like to, of course, do one set of diamonds. Put my spare boxes out the way before I then do, you know, my logbook or my ABs. It's like I get extra check marks for having done something by finishing up jobs as I go along. It's the small things. They all help. They all help. A little bit of static on these. Hopefully not too bad. You'll see the worst offenders are normally the last ones out the bag. And we just have one that is slipped. Okay, 15. Where's my next strip? Is it you? It is. Another set of beautiful greens. Another couple of colours close together, which is always nice for sort of shading. If your numbers are close together, they don't have to be exactly together for shading. DMC have sort of added colours that sort of fill gaps, so they don't have to be together. But when you do get a couple of numbers together, it's like this little, ooh, I wonder if they're, you know, close and they give me sort of different shades as you go. So these two greens are sort of the same sort of tones that go together. Right, 453 is one of my next sort of big bags or big amounts. And actually 452 is as well. So both of them are. So I'm going to fill up that pot as much as I can because I know I've got 2 extra bags. So let's get as many as I can in there, and then I should be able to squeeze these all in a bit like I did with 712. Be entertaining, but it should be doable. And I must be holding this at a different angle because they don't want to play the ball. In fact, let me write my sticker. 453. Because I've put the pot away and I keep throwing the bags away. Let's make life a bit easier for myself. I've cut right across on this one. I'm still going to tip on an angle, but I'm just taking this whole trying to fight through a corner out of the equation. Let's not make things difficult. Oh, you had to fall down, didn't you? I was doing so well until the bag fell down from being propped up. And I think I've just flung one across my desk. But I'm sure with this many diamonds, we will be okay. So I just keep making sure that the diamonds are pushed into the corners and letting a bit of air into the bag. And it seems to shrink them down a bit to the point that I can zip it across. Okay, 452, we are the same. So I've cut all the way across, so I've got all 3 of them, though these don't seem as full. The bags aren't as full on this one, so 452, sorry. So let's pop that on the front. Let's open this bag. I know I'm going to need it. And let's try cutting straight across this I've not cut, of course, I've not cut fully across. Okay, I'm going to have to take it this way because I've just ripped it. That's actually not bad when you're working with a full bag, apart from overfilling it. Thought I was going to get the whole bag in then. Obviously not. Okay, round 2. Second bag. Definitely cut across the whole top now, because I'm going into a bigger sort of area than just the top of the pot. Cut the last one off. Squeeze them down. I can feel the bags pushing back up. And yeah, that one is loads easier to get closed. So there definitely was a few less. And then we have a 451. Some of these are actually taped up, which is a little bit weird. They're sort of taped across, as though somebody's trying to make sure that they reconnect together. Oh, come on, you need to fit in. You're not going to fit in, are you? Oh my goodness me. Not many, but it's just not going to fit in. I was trying the diamond's patience, and it's just not having it. So I'll cream off the top, get the rest in off the bag, and then clean up my mess. I guess you're going to have a bag just for that many. It is what it is. 4, 5, 1. Let's bob that one on there. And then 4, 3, 7. This one better fit in the bag. It's so much easier. Seeing what it's like with a small bag, not cutting off the full corner. Actually, that doesn't work. That works okay. Maybe I should stop trying to cut the corner off and just cut a straight line and then tip them. Provided, so let me get number 9. So provided when you do cut a straight line, you don't tip from this edge with the extra seam, you tip from this edge where you can put it right next to your pot. You can always hold your finger over. Let me just get these diamonds out and I'll show you what I mean, because it's very hard to sort of show you when there's a fear of diamonds going everywhere. So when you've got your pot and you've got your bag and you've got it at the bottom and you're popping it on your pot to tip it, what you can actually do is pop one of your other fingers there as like a little buffer to stop them shooting off and going out the way. That might actually be easier if you do have ones with a little bit of static as well, because sometimes they do say when you've got static, if you cut a corner at the opposite end of your bag to sort of allow some airflow, they're easier to get out the bag. And maybe actually having airflow in the top to go around does the same thing. Who knows? I could be chatting rubbish. Right, 415, I have 2 bags. So I think I'm going to be able to get one in a pot because it's a lot thinner, but I'm going to take it slowly because it's happened where they don't fit before. No, they definitely fit that time. So I'm just going to keep it one bag in the pot. It's close enough to the top. And then we'll pop one in here. 415, really pale grey. I think that's the last one that I have multiple bags of. There is a fair amount of 310, not too much. But it might not all fit in one pot. We shall find out. Because I'm getting low on bags that are in here. I know I have more in the other room. but I'm getting low here, and this 414, maybe it'll fit. This bag's got a bit of a crease in it where it's been folded. They're still pouring all right though. Just got a couple of diamonds stuck in the top corner. Oh, and stuck in the bottom corner. But I haven't made any more mess than I usually do, so I think I'm just going to start cutting the bag straight across. At least then I don't have to worry about not giving myself enough room, and because I'm not just doing it on a corner, I can actually control the angle, which means in effect I'm controlling how fast or slow it flows. Whereas when you cut a corner, if you cut a corner too big, because you're tipping it up to allow the corner out, sometimes you don't have control of that little edge where they all decide to spurt out everywhere. Okay, nearly there. 318. This I think might be too much. Yeah. And I can stand that bag up that way. So 318, which is another palish grey, is not all going to fit. Let's throw them in a new one. Add them to my pile. 317 should fit, and I actually want to do it that way. Cut the weight of the 310s off so I can actually tip it. 317's fine. 310, maybe not. Let's see. I think it's going to be a no. I think I'm going to have to pop them in a bag. Yeah. And I shook it as I pulled it out then. So that didn't do me any favours. Making a mess. Right, so what I'm going to do, because I've got no more without opening stock, which there's no need, I have plenty of these bags already. They are just hanging off the side of my cart from my last Dreamers designs that I did. And I did empty them all. I didn't have any extras to de-kit. So they are literally sat on a book ring with no diamonds in them. So I'm going to use those bags for my 5200, and I'll do that afterwards. There's sort of no point in me pausing the film, going into the warmth, and into the cool, should I say, wrong temperature way, and coming back when you've seen me pour bags in enough for one day. So I have my bag and book ring ready. That will just hang on the side of my cart once I've added in the 5200. That book ring is looking like it's a little loose. I've used it so much. It's catching most of the time. It's the one I always use to grab my bags off. So I might switch it for the other book ring. But anyway, diamonds are in. I will still need my stickers, so I'll keep them to one side and do that in a moment. What I do want to do is I want to rearrange these symbols. The AB ones, when you're doing a painting, you sort of, it'll take me a little bit. I'll probably still try looking for the number 3 on here, for example. It'll take me a little bit to remember that they're ABs, but you tend to get to know what your ABs are. So I'm not fussed about what order these are in, though I can switch them around if I want to. If there was more than 4, I might do, but for 4. If I had a couple of pots worth. But for these, I definitely want to. So I like to have letters then numbers, then symbols. So I've already seen the letter A, so I'm going to grab that one. I've got a G, H and a Y. They tend to use a small h. Potentially it's it's not actually supposed to be the letter H, it's supposed to be something else, but I call it the letter H. They've also got the cent sign for cent, so it's the letter C with a line through. Quite often, to be honest, I put that in alphabet because I think the letter C when I look at it. So I'm going to grab all my alphabet ones. Also, this symbol, Dreamer Designs used it on my last one. I didn't put it with the letter T's last time, but I'm always looking for a letter T. So I'm going to put it with the T's. Number 1, that one. Number 6, their letters. And the reason I'm not putting these in A, B, C and going through is sometimes they have an uppercase A and a lowercase a. So I'm just checking. So for example, C, I've now got 2, but that's because we've got the real letter C and we've actually got the cent symbol, and they're actually very similar colours, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're close together, which is why I like to do it that way. So we have got a letter B, so let's put that in there. I can always shove it over. We've got another one. See, that isn't actually a letter H. I'm not sure if the camera will focus on it. It's not actually, well, it is if you turn it round. It could be classed as an I, but H and I sort of go together anyway, so I'm going to put them together. You sort of do what works for your way of thinking. That's also a bit of a weird letter T. It's not a letter T, but it kind of looks like one. So I might just shove it together. That's the letter O. Oh, these won't be together now, will they? I didn't think that one through. Anyway, I'm not doing the upside down T because I don't think of that as the letter T. And they're all symbols. So we do have a lot of symbols. I will work on those in a minute. But we've got the letter C. Do we have a D? No, but we have an E. Have we got an F? I'm going to end up missing some. F, G, and then H. I actually have 2. One the right way round, one the wrong way round. H. But that could be classed as the I, so that's okay. Do we have a J? Yes. K. Then we have L, M, N. Then we have our O, which I'll just put the 2. P, Q, R, S. Now my 3 weird T's are not going together if I do this. I will have 1 T here and 2 T's up here. I don't like that. So is there something? How would it work? So if I move these all back so that I'm keeping them in order. So I don't like my T's being split up. So I'm going to see how it will work if I actually put my numbers first. I normally like my letters first. It's my default. But I can work with my numbers first. So A, B, my C's are still together. E, G, my H and my I are together, or my other H. K, L, M, N. My O's are still together with my extra. And then I can put what I've determined is 3 different letter T's together. S, T, U, then an X, which doesn't really look like it is. It's more of a cross than an X, but I'm still classing it as an X and Y. So that's actually worked out quite nice just by doing that little reshuffle. Now for symbols, there are a few symbols that I sort of like to start off with clubbing together. So things like the circles or the dots, which is often 310. I've also got 2 circles that have then got a half. Now these are very similar. They're different, but they're the same if you turn them on their side. So they are something I need to pay attention to. I'm trying to see if I've got a highlighter in here, which of course I haven't. It's in the desk drawer. So what I'm likely to do is highlight these two. Just a highlighter over the DMC number, just to remind me that it's similar to something else. So if my eye only sees one of them, I know that there's something else that's similar, which means I will double check the symbol on the canvas, especially because I'm working on it on its side. So those two can go together. There's also the ones with 3 dots. It's a circle, or it's formed up, made up from circles. Let me move that out of the way. Okay, so I like those together. I also have then circles, squares. So I've got a square, I've got a half circle. So we'll put that in as well. In fact, I'll switch that and put that with the ones that are a complete outline of circle but then half. Put those together. I also like to put arrows and chevrons and things together. So I've actually got chevrons pointing in 2 different ways. So again, that's another one that I will highlight because I'm working on my canvas on the side. I want to double check I've got the right one. I've got a backwards arrow. I've got an up and a down arrow. So let's put those together. An up and a down. And again, because I'm working on it on its side, I want to make sure that it's right. So put them close together, put a marking on them. That was another chevron. And the reason I've also started another row with those is because, one, I noticed there were quite a lot. But also, when you get to some of sort of these chevrons, you can think that they're very similar to the triangles, which are sort of arrowheads but without arrows. So you've got sort of 2 triangles. So by popping these down here just underneath, they're sort of together. So I've put, in fact, I want to move those 2 up. So they're all arrows. And then my chevrons are close to my triangles. So if my brain says triangle, then I'm still looking around the same general area. That's another one that's very similar. One's white based, one's a black based symbol, but they're similar. So I want those all together. Okay, then I have an hourglass, which you could class as, of course, similar to the triangles. So I'm going to keep it in that general area, and maybe I'll work that way now. I thought that was the letter Y, but it's actually that orientation, so it doesn't look like the letter Y. We've got sort of the back end of an arrow. So that might be classed as similar to the arrows, so I'll put that there. A chevron with a strike through. So again, I'm trying to keep them sort of close together, even though they don't then group with something else. We've got a tick. I suppose you could class that as close to a chevron. Maybe, maybe not. We've got another 2 that are similar. They're 2 like mini staples, but they're facing different ways. So I want those 2 together. Again, I will highlight them. I'll highlight them potentially with different colours. So these 2 will have, say, a yellow highlighter. But then these 2 that are similar will have an orange highlighter. So I'm just matching up the highlight colours to confirm that's the only one that's similar. Right, there's nothing else at the moment that's grabbing me as similar to what I've already got on this board. So I was just looking now at these ones that are sort of, I'm actually going for the ones that sort of have the most diamonds in them, and then I don't have to stretch as far. Quite often though, if something's not working for me, if I find, so for especially with these ones at the back, that are sort of just the rest of the symbols. In fact, those two are similar, so let's move those together. If I find that something's not quite working for me, so for example, maybe I find that on the actual canvas itself, this symbol that I've actually dumped over here is actually always near this symbol that I've got over here near the arrows, then I'll just switch them over. So that, you know when you work on a painting, when you work on, say, the tree leaves, that they tend to be made up of a combination of colours. You often find that you'll have a couple of colours very close to each other, like consistently. So I'm probably going to have 5200 and 762 close to each other, because one will be the white and that will be the shading around the edge. Which with letters, I'm fine because it's the alphabet. I know which order they're in. But if that happens with symbols, then quite often I will shuffle my case around so that as I'm putting one symbol back, after having finished it and starting to look for my next symbol, I'm not scanning the whole case because it's right near it. So don't be afraid to shuffle things about when you have started a painting to make it work for you, so that it, you're not spending your life looking for drills, because who wants to do that? But anyway, that is, yes, that is White Christmas, all kitted up with my ABs. I'm going to go and pop or grab the bags and pop these in, cool down, and see whether I'm up for filming the whip and chat, which of course will have been before this, so you guys will already know whether I've managed to do the whip and chat with White Christmas after finishing this video, or whether I sat down and chilled all evening and then you got to see the second section of it. You guys will know already, I don't. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.